Hello again, class 400 no, class 543. Class 543, welcome to class 543. Focus pack, learn to speak up. Learn to speak up means learn to speak with assertiveness. Learn to speak with self-confidence. Learn to speak with aplomb and self-assurance. Learn to speak up. Learn to speak up. Lo cubre. You don't need to add the rest. All right. Learn to speak up, page 76, list number 3. All right. The next two lists, this list and the next one, are still, yet, already, anymore. Still, yet, already, anymore. No hemos empezado todavía. We haven't started yet. We haven't started yet. 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 No digas yet. Yet. Yellow, yedra, yet. We haven't started yet. No he subido al reactor todavía. I haven't boarded the jet yet. Jet yet. Jet yet. Jet yet. All right, yet. Todavía estamos esperando. O sea, no hemos empezado todavía. We haven't started yet. We haven't begun yet. Begun. We haven't started yet. Todavía estamos esperando. We're still waiting. En estas dos frases viene la palabra todavía en ambas frases. Pero en inglés son diferentes palabras. No hemos empezado todavía is we haven't started yet. Todavía estamos esperando. O sea, todavía en el sentido de que seguimos aquí esperando is still. Estamos todavía esperando. We are still waiting. Why? Because we haven't started yet. ¿Has comido ya? Have you eaten yet? También puedes decir, have you already eaten? Pero si dices, have you already eaten? Es simplemente verificación o comprobación de que sí has comido ya. Estoy casi dando por sentado que has comido, pero quiero verificarlo. Have you already eaten? Ahora, si no tengo ni idea, ¿has comido ya? Es, have you eaten yet? Have you eaten yet? Ya he comido. I've already eaten. No he comido todavía. I haven't eaten yet. This list, you need to practice and practice and practice and practice. Hear it, listen to it 100 times, because in Spanish it's different. Usáis ya, donde decimos yet, y usamos también yet para todavía según se usa, y otras veces still. La mezcla de estas cosas, te lías. But it's not difficult. You simply need to expose your ear to it a lot. No hemos empezado todavía. We haven't started yet. Todavía estamos esperando. We're still waiting. ¿Has comido ya? Have you, point of view, have you eaten yet? Ya he comido. I've already eaten. I have already eaten. I've already eaten. I've already eaten. No, I haven't eaten yet. No he comido todavía. I haven't eaten yet. Have you eaten yet? No, I haven't eaten yet. Así se dice, claro, en español. ¿Has comido ya? Sí. No, no he comido todavía. Es que en español se dice ya y luego todavía. Igual que en el otro, todavía y todavía en ambos. Es yet and still. ¿Hemos comenzado ya? Have we started yet? No, no hemos started. Seguimos esperando. We're still waiting. Todavía estamos esperando. ¿Has comido ya? Have you eaten yet? No, no he comido todavía. No, I haven't eaten yet. Have you eaten yet? Yes, I've already eaten. No, I haven't eaten yet. ¿Has terminado ya el informe? Have you finished the report yet? ¿Has terminado el informe ya? Have you finished the report yet? No lo he terminado todavía. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't finished it yet. Sí, ya lo he terminado. Yes, I've already finished it. Finished it. I haven't finished it yet. No, I haven't finished it yet. Yes, I've already finished it. I've already finished it. Okay. Todavía estoy esperando. Todavía estoy trabajando en ello. O sea, el informe. I'm still working on it. Have you finished the report yet? No, I'm still working on it. ¿No te acuerdas del barco famoso cruzando? The ship is crossing from the cup to the microphone. Has the ship started yet? No, it hasn't started yet. Is it still in the port? Yes, it's still in the port. Now, has it started yet? Yes, it has already started. Is it still in the port? No, it's not in the port anymore. Has it reached the middle point yet? No, it hasn't reached halfway yet. Is it still on the way? Todavía está en camino. Yes, it's still on the way. Has it reached the halfway point yet? Yes, it has already reached the halfway point. Has it reached the microphone yet? No, not yet. It hasn't reached the microphone yet. Is it still on the way? Yes, it's still on the way. Is it still in the port? No, it's not in the port anymore. Has it reached the destination yet? The microphone? Yes, it's already reached the destination. Is it still in the middle of the ocean? No, it's not in the middle of the ocean anymore. Okay. And the only way to learn these, to activate, aprender algo, teóricamente es fácil. Activarlo así, pam, 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 con agilidad y aplomo, exige 1000 veces oír, 1000 veces decir. All right. Yes. Yes. Mucho caminar con el inglés. Has terminado el informe ya? Have you finished the report yet? Todavía estoy trabajando en ello. I'm still working on it. Ya no estoy trabajando en ello. I'm not working on it anymore. Why not? Because I've already finished it. Oye, ¿sigues saliendo con ella? Are you still going out with her? With Petunia? Are you still going out with her? Sí, todavía salgo con ella. Yes, I'm still going out with her. No, ya no salgo con ella. I'm not going. Presente continuo en inglés. I'm not going out with her anymore. Ya la he dejado. I've already left her. Oh, poor girl. She wasn't worth it. No la he dejado todavía. I haven't left her yet. Ya la he dejado. I've already left her. No la he dejado todavía. I haven't left her yet. ¿Ha llegado el tren ya? Has the train arrived yet? Has the train arrived yet? No, no ha llegado todavía. No, it hasn't arrived yet. Excuse me, has the train arrived yet? No, it hasn't arrived yet. Todavía está en camino. It's still on the way. It's still on the way. Pues ya llegado. It has already arrived. Contracción. It's already arrived. Ya no está en camino. It's not on the way anymore. Why? Because it's in the station. It's already arrived. ¿Todavía me quieres? Do you still love me? Do you still love me? Huh? Sí, todavía quiero. Yes, I still love you. Ya no te quiero. I don't love you anymore. I don't love you anymore. Ya he encontrado otra mujer. I've already found another woman. ¿La has visto ya? Have you seen him yet? Y luego continúa. Have you seen him yet? All right. Have you seen him yet? Hey, Richard, yeah. Are your parents still alive? No. Is your father still alive? No, he's not. When did he die? My father. He died in 2007. Is your mother still alive? No, she's not. She's not alive anymore. Well, when did she die? She died in 2003. How old was your mother when she died? My mother was 82. Wait a minute. She died she was 81 and a half. She was 81 and a half. And Richard, how did your mother die? She died of a stroke. What? My mother died of a stroke. What's a stroke? Es como un infarto cerebral, ictus, embolia, trombosis. It says derrame cerebral. Similarly, the equivalent of cardiovascular problems in the head. She died of a stroke. She died of a stroke. How old was she when she died? She was 81 and a half. She was 81 and a half. Well, where was she born? My mother. She was born in San Antonio, Texas. Oh. When did she meet your father? My mother met my father, I think, in 1941. I think in the spring of 1941. Well, how old was your mother when she met your father? Well, if it was the spring of 1941, then my mother was 19 in the spring of 1941. And how old was your father? He was 17. Una salta cunas. Bueno, in the summer of 1941, my father was 18 and my mother was 19. My mother's birthday is in December and my father's in July. My mother was almost a year and a half older than my father. Where did they meet? Why are you asking questions about my mother? Because your parents, your family is an interesting subject. All right. Well, here's a picture of my mother. All right, when she was probably 18 or 19 years old. 19. You see, I think she's wearing a white sweater. I don't know. I don't have the picture with me. And she's smiling, looking at the camera. And here's a picture of her with my father when they were very young. I think in this picture, probably, my mother was 19 and my father was 18. All right, they were very young. At the University of Texas, in Austin, Texas. And so, here you can see my mother and father together. Now, before you saw only my mother, but here you see them together. All right, now. Yes, but Richard, how did they meet? How did my parents meet? Well, do you know the story, Marta? De la jaula de pájaros? You remember? I think I told the story once. I'll tell the story one more time. Okay. At the University of Texas, my father belonged to a fraternity. To belong is pertenecer. My father belonged to a fraternity, which is a social club for male students. And my mother belonged to a sorority, which is a social club for female students on the campus of the University of Texas. Now, in every social club, sorority or fraternity, there's Hell Week. Hell Week is la semana infernal. O sea, hay Grace Week, la semana de gracia, donde te tratan como reyes y reinas. And then there's Hell Week, donde novatadas por un tubo, muchos novatadas. And so my mother was the object of a prank. Como rank con P delante. Prank is una novatada en este caso, prank. And the prank was, she had to deliver a message, to a boy in a fraternity. So one of my mother's sisters, sus hermanas de la hermandad, okay. One of her sisters said, Mary Jo, my mother's name, yeah, that's Tom and Mary Jo. Tom and Mary Jo. I don't know if Tom is on the left or on the right, but the two. My father's name was Tom and my mother's name was Mary Jo, Maria Jose, Mary Jo. And so Mary Jo was the object of a prank. And one of her sisters said, Mary Jo, take this message. Take this message. I have a message here. I'm going to give you a message. She said, Mary Jo, take this message to the Sigma Nu letras griegas. to the Sigma Nu fraternity. It's for my boyfriend, Johnny Evans. And my mother said, okay. No, it's a secret message. Well, when you get there, you open it and you read the message to Johnny. But Johnny needs to come. Johnny is living in the fraternity house. He's living there. It's a colegio mayor. All right, he's living there. You need to go. It's only 2 blocks away. You can walk Dos Manzanas, 2 blocks. It's only 2 blocks away. And you go down and you ding dong, ring the bell. They open the door and say, I have a message for Johnny Evans. I said, okay, good. No, I have to read it personally to Johnny. Oh, okay. However, in the sorority house, muy malas, colocaron una jaula de pájaros sobre la cabeza de mi madre. And so they put a bird cage, over they opened an opening in the bottom of the bird cage, and my mother's head is inside the bird cage, and the little door of the bird cage in front. And she had to walk in the outside with people in the street. She had to walk 2 blocks to the fraternity house, wearing a bird cage and carrying the message. And she walked 2 blocks to the fraternity house. She rang the doorbell. Ding dong. And one of the brothers, unos hermanos de la hermandad, opened the door and said, hello. Hello, I have a message for Johnny Evans. Is he here? Yeah. Johnny Evans. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Come in. And she walked into the foyer. The foyer is in a vestibule. You walked into the lobby. And she waited, and he went upstairs to look for Johnny Evans. But at the same time, he said, hey, guys, knocking on the doors of the other brothers, saying, hey, go downstairs and check out. There's a girl down there with a bird cage over her head. And so they found Johnny Evans. Said, Johnny, there's a girl downstairs with a message for you. They didn't say the bird cage. And so Johnny goes down and there was my mother. It says, are you Johnny Evans? But there were about 15 other boys looking, watching. And my poor mother with a bird cage, she said, are you Johnny Evans? She said, and he said, yes. I have a message from Jennifer Smith. Oh, well, what's the message? Well, I have to read it. Okay? Yeah, sure. But you have to open the door of the bird cage. Now, one of the 15 boys watching this was my father. You have him here. He was watching this. And my mother read the message to Johnny Evans. And she closed it and kept the letter. Said, excuse me, you need to close the door of the bird cage because I have to go back to the sorority house. And so she left. Now my father asked, who's that girl? He said, I don't know. And he said to Johnny, hey, Johnny, who's that girl? And Johnny said, I don't know. And my father said, well, find out. Because Jennifer, your girlfriend, sent her here with that message. I want to know that girl. She's the cutest thing I've seen in my life. La cosa más bona que he visto en mi vida, he said. She's the cutest little thing I've seen in my life. And which was true. My mother was a very cute little girl. She was only 5 feet tall. 1.56, 1.57. She was short. All right. But she was very cute. And she had freckles. Un poco de pecas. She had freckles on her face. She's a cutie pie. And that's how they met. And they started going out together. And my father always ordered Coke floats. Coke floats? Yeah. They went together in the car. My father had a car. And they went together to have a hamburger and a Coke float. What's a Coke float? A Coke float is una flotador. ¿Cómo? Float? No, a Coke float is the following. You have a glass, a tall glass, como los vasos para whiskey, a tall glass, round, and you put 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream, de vainilla, bam, bam, and then you take a Coca-Cola, and then you drink it, and it's delicious. Apparently, my parents' generation always loved Coke floats. I've never tried one. Once, here in Spain, when my parents came to visit me in perhaps 1976, in a hotel, in the bar of a hotel, in the cafeteria bar of the hotel, my father ordered a Coke float. And the waiter said, and I explained, I said in Spanish, no, traiga un vaso largo de los vasos de tubo, ¿eh? Y 2 bolas de helado de chocolate o de vainilla dentro. Pero, okay. So he brought the glass for my father. And I said, a Coca-Cola, please. And he brought a bottle of Coca-Cola. And the waiter watched as my father poured that Coca-Cola on top. That's him. Now, later, my father, in a question about 4 months or 5 months, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. They bombed Pearl Harbor. And my father joined the Army Air Corps, the Cuerpo Aéreo del Ejército. At that time, the Air Force, las Fuerzas Aéreas, didn't exist as a separate branch. There were 2 branches of aviation. The Army Air Corps, escrito corps, una palabra francesa, cuerpo in francés. The Army Air Corps and the Navy Air Corps. My father joined the Army Air Corps. So starting in January 1942, my father had to go to train to become a pilot. And so my mother and my father already were going together. And so my mother waited from 1942 to 1946 to get married. Here's a picture of my mother 6 months after they got married. I don't know, Marta, if you have a picture of them together. Here is my mother. This picture was in 1946 or 1947 in Mexico City. My parents were visiting Mexico City after they got married. Maybe it was they went on their honeymoon. My parents got married in Austin, Texas. My mother's parents went up to Austin from San Antonio, and my father's parents came down from a small town, Bertram, Texas, to Austin, Texas, and they got married there. Then my parents went on their honeymoon. Viaje de novios se dice luna de miel. The honeymoon. My parents went on their honeymoon to Galveston, Texas, on the coast, the Texas coast, the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of Mexico. But I think probably after that, maybe 1 month in the summertime, because my parents got married on the 2nd of June. June 2nd, 1946, el 2 de junio, 1946. So probably in July or August, they went to Mexico City. And this is a photograph of my mother in a restaurant in Mexico City. And if Marta has the other picture, you can see a picture of my parents together in Mexico City. She's very elegantly dressed. That way, in my parents' generation, the kids, the young people dressed very, very elegantly in social moments. In classroom moments, no. In the class, the school, the campus, no. Very casual dress. Casual dress. Ropa informal, poco formal. But in social moments, parties, dances, they dressed very well. You remember from the movies, the scene of those 40, they are very elegantly dressed. And so you can see my mother and father there. But here you have my mother in Mexico City. And maybe Marta, I don't know if she has it, can put on, if not another day. And they got married. But my father was still a student. You see, my father was beginning his second. You see, my father began the University of Texas, in September 1940. And he completed 1 year, one academic year. Then in September 1941, he started his second university year. But in December was the beginning of the Second World War for the United States. And so he interrupted, it abruptly interrupted his and the rest of the boys' university studies. So back in 1946, he started again. And maybe in the next class, I'll come back with more. See you.